I've got a case of the yips and it's not going great. My trading is going a little bit off track of where I was in December and January when I had that 27-day green streak. I'm almost doing the exact opposite of what I did to achieve that feat, and that needs to stop immediately. Now, the trading hasn't been too bad, thankfully, knock on wood. The results are still fine. I haven't dug myself any big holes. I've always found a way to recover on the day, but I've really been battling the markets, flip flopping, having to take losses on the chin, try to make it back, force my way into the market. Just not what I want to be doing, causing way too much stress. So let's quickly go over the markups for the most part today. I don't want you to look at this too hard, but yes, that does say 8 days. Your favorite trader traded 8 times. I know you're like, that's not at all what Evan did. Someone must have hacked his account because he does not take 8 trades. And I would have to say, I am ashamed. I'm sorry to let you down, but I did, in fact, I guess it's 8. I lost track myself. Now, the first two I do like. So, first things first, let's get into it. First long here, I took this on ASFX TV, where if you don't know, I live stream every morning on ASFX TV through the New York Open. And if you miss those, you can watch the replay so you can see here's today's trades on the 18th. So if you want to tune into that, you definitely can. We have it all week long. Let's look at the trade here. The first long being buyers are back above New York VWAP. I'm long buyers potentially on the 15 minutes still because this white line above us. That's our midnight price. Today was at 93% chance of one to be engaged with. Spoiler alert, it was not engaged with until the last 10 minutes of the day. So was way off on that one. But that's my clear target of 93% of the time. That's very, very strong. Buyers are in. We could want to go get it right here and now. That did not work. That's all right. Stop loss at low a day. Quickly then, I guess, came to my senses of, okay, well, what's been happening? The longs didn't work. This is now over on NQ, but same thing. Lower highs and lower lows consistently. So rather than trying to stick with that long bias, let me just listen to what the market's telling me. That's all sellers here since the open. I'm not chasing this low down here. This is about where I'm getting stopped out on my ES trade, right? Not chasing that lower. Let it pull back. It bounces off open range low. New York view up again. Breaks the lower day view up. And now I'm in another short or in another trade. This one short. And look how it respects underneath that lower day view up. Sellers held that control the entire time. So I should not be out of the trade. And thankfully, I'm able to hold it for a new lower day. A beautiful exit on that one, I might say. Right at the bottom, because the quicker it moves in my favor, aka those three strong candles down very close to 1R, I'm out. I make back the earlier loss. Now we're back to break even on the day. So it could have been just right then and there, I'm done. But one other note I want to make regarding this first trade. They're around the same time. This long I'm taking here at 956, if you were to compare it to NQ at 956, that's this here. So buyers actually weren't in control on NQ like I thought they were on ES. So normally how I use both assets is wanting them to be both running together. So buyers aren't in on NQ. So maybe my longs aren't ready yet on ES, and I could have avoided getting into ES too soon because it wasn't telling me NQ wants to move higher. So with NQ looking like it still could want to come lower, that in turn brings my ES lower and I lose, right? Makes sense. Now this one, this is later on. I'm out of my short. It pulls back to New York view up. Still looking like clean, beautiful structure. We're still making those lower highs since the open. I still do like this trade. Nice retest here of hold of New York. I get in before the lower daybreak, playing the bounce play. Stop loss at what was a nice lower high, even covering the lower high from back here. I like this sentiment. One other note, if you've been following along any of these videos, we did actually take out the initial balance low. So now when we do that, we could check out Edgeful real quick. The initial balance low, you want to go to your report, initial balance breakout, and you can filter it by size, by weekday, whatever you want to do if this wants to refresh here. That we normally probably only break one side. So being that we took out the bottom, I'm really not expecting us to now come back to the top and break the upside. So you can see today this initial balance size was 0.28. Double break though, if I zoom it in there, it did in fact double break. But statistically that probably should not have happened because if you look at the stats here, double breaks only 18% of the time. So being that we took out the bottom, there's a 77% chance, just standard in the last 6 months, we do in fact only break one side. And 18% is very low, but it happened 24 times. So it was one of those 24 days. So I think it's a good solid trade, trading with the trend, with the direction, underneath all view ups. One other note you could make, probably could have maybe gotten out at that lower day view up once it wasn't broken. I mean, buyers defended that very well and bounces right off it. So that's not a great sign for my short, but I still do like it as long as we're holding underneath here. I like the shorts. So it couldn't crack lower there either. Then just stopped out and then eventually does fall way later on, but super, super choppy. I don't hate that trade either, but now I'm red on the day because right, those first two canceled each other out. Now we're red on the day. All right, what else? Back to ES. So one thing, a lot of flip-flopping between assets. That was on NQ again. Now we're back on ES. One other note, I didn't like the shorts because one other note, I made a VWAP video about it a while ago. To this lower day VWAP, that's probably anchored at 10 o'clock. It's now 1 o'clock, let's just say over here, that the lower day was set 3 hours ago and we still haven't made a new low. That's not very bearish strong. That we should have been able to break this lower day and run. Break it and run. But this is now like the fourth time that sellers have tried to take this lower day VWAP and failed. They're getting weaker and weaker each time, building these higher lows that I really do not want to take this lower day break because it's not telling me sellers are in control or been able to take control and hold it. And if you remember from that first trade, I don't have it marked up on this, that midnight price is still there above us at 93%. So with the sellers looking like they're super weak below us, there's a clear target above me at 93%. Well, let me go get it. But again, this is looking very rangy at this point of the day. NQ actually still looks bearish, so that makes this one certainly tough. Another thing we could mention is looking back at that Edgeful real quick. The no break, 3.9% of the time. So we know we're going to break out of this initial balance today. It's going to happen. And if you look at ES, it did not break the initial balance low. It set the low, but it did not break either side. So I'm thinking, okay, midnight's above us. It still hasn't taken out a side. It could want to go do both at the same time. Let's go get it. But it did not. It's mid-range. There's no trending structure. I'm just really playing that midnight price that I did back here as well. But it was not working today. It did not work today. And I paid the price for it. This one, not bad. Probably not the best. Not the setup you normally see me take. There's not really in favor of a trend. It's very choppy. But I'm playing the stats. Just didn't work out. Now we go over here. Back on, we're still on ES. So we didn't flip-flop. But if you can see the trade right next to my face here, the longs did not work there. I just got stopped out on that long, right? Now, am I still seeing these lower highs way up here? Well, I guess so. We finally did. If you put that lower day view up back on somewhere around there, finally getting some separation of it from here. Sellers finally taking some control, moving us lower a little bit. All right. Maybe they are back in. Same idea still applies that we haven't taken out the initial balance yet. We know we're gonna. Let's go get that side. So once this didn't quite make the initial balance low, small little pullback, I'm like, we're gonna break a side today. It looks like we're probably ready to finally spread out of this range. Let's go break that bottom side. I just put on a short on a small pullback, stop loss back above New York, because if it came back into the middle of the range, I'm done. I'm tired of this thing. So thankfully, I did actually have a take profit in because I was on the minis here, and this smoked down 12 points. I probably would have made like 2 grand on that. I think I had 4 minis on. I would have made too much money if that even makes sense. Because for anyone that doesn't know, all these trades are on Tradeify. So I'm running the straight to sim funded, and with their 20% consistency rule, if I made 2,000 in a day, I'm not gonna be able to take a payout until like 10 grand because I can't have my biggest day be more than 20% of that P&L. So I'm trying to make like 1,000 per day. So actually having a TP in there really helped me. But if you want to buy any of these Tradeify accounts, code Dyer will always get you 30% off, or their best deal. It'll match their best deal, their best coupon code that they're running right now. So definitely check them out. The 50Ks are great. The 150Ks are great. You get a lot of drawdown. Definitely check them out. Code Dyer for all the accounts. Growth, challenge, advanced, whatever you want. But back to the trade. So that's why I didn't really want to catch all 12 points because that would have put me up like 2 grand on the day. And that's sounds good, but it could have been bad. But regardless, good to make that back. Again, just ending the day back where we started. Break even. Little green, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, the P&L curve speaks for itself here. Down, made it back. Down, made it back a little bit. And some, gave it all back. I mean, what the hell? What a roller coaster. Not my best trading. I don't hate any of the trades. I don't love a couple of them. Definitely could have slowed it down. I should not have this many trades, especially on a day like today when it's not trending. I shouldn't be flip-flopping. You can see a ES, NQ, ES, NQ. A lot of flip-flopping. A lot of flip-flopping on assets, direction, trade strategy of break out this, bounce that, range this. Way too complicated all over the map. Simplify it, reel it back in. What's been working best? I mean, let's go to Thursday. I honestly don't even remember. But what happened on my last Thursday? If you look at Thursday's trade, what do we do? Higher highs and higher lows, trending for the new high day. That's where I should be making my money. Not on a day where we're sitting sideways all in the range, trying to play that first break. Do we break out now? Do we reverse now? No, I'm not going to make all my money on this day. I'll capitalize on the trending days. So hopefully you didn't get beat up today. Hopefully you found some value in why I did what I did, how I'm looking to improve. just revert back to the basics. What got me that 27-day streak? It was not these type of setups, but that's so simple to say. But why am I more inclined to just trade so freely? Because if you remember when I first snapped the streak, it was like relieving of, okay, great. I don't need to fear losses because there's no streak, but I don't want it to rub off too much of I don't care at all. Because I need to be professional about it. I need to treat it seriously, not put too much risk on the market. I probably had like 5 grand worth of risk sprinkled across the market in total today, which is just way too much. Not all at once, of course, but just too much all at once, very fast. Slow it on down, 1 to 2 trades per day. If I'm not seeing what I like, I don't need to catch it right now. Wait for new information, right? My best play today would have been go make that new high. Look for a retest later on. Go make that new low. Finally, get out of this range. I'll trade the retest and the trend lower. When we're in this range in the middle, I don't do well predicting is this going to be the one that pops us higher? Are we going to finally sink back lower, right? Too tough for me in the time right now. Not my best play. Not what I want to be doing. Not going to get me these payouts. So if it's not presenting how I want, remind myself what is my game plan? Trending structure, key levels, break of a high day, bounce of a New York VWAP, all those great things you see me talk about on this channel all the time. So let's get back into it. Let's lock it back in, simplify things, slow things down, have realistic expectations. You don't need to trade every day. I mean, if you look at my trades out last week, I battled for sure because this has just been the common theme this month of battling through it. But I am green on the month, so that's why I'll take these lessons in stride. I'd much rather take these lessons and end green than be taking lessons and having giant blowout days. So I got to do the lessons on these days. Up 2.2 on the month, not the greatest, but we'll take it. It's green. Keep stacking them. Get more accounts. I'm going to keep trading these Tradeify accounts. Get them on a copier. So there's 2 grand becomes 8 grand on 4 accounts, right? So I definitely advocate for having multiple accounts. I just made a video about that. But yeah, hopefully you guys found value in it. Trade safe. If you ever have any questions on Edgeful, Tradeify, the streams on ASFX TV, always feel free to reach out. Leave a comment down below. Make sure to like it. But yeah, let's start trading safe. Let's lock it back in. And as always, I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.